Hello YouTube! Welcome to the third and final chapter of the Acronym Uniform series, where we will be looking at the Acronym Nike Vapormax Moc 2s. But first, I would like to express my gratitude for all the really nice reactions I've gotten on the Acronym J1E video. So many people have commented on it or sent me messages, which I appreciate very much, even if it's not positive. I have also had some contacts with people who do not like what I do at all, which is fine. And even that is also interesting to me. So anyway, thanks for all the love and the hate. I mean, it's all a form of caring about what I do. It's definitely motivating to go on with this because I'm still very much struggling to find time to keep up a consistent production. Right now I'm mainly doing reviews, but in the future I would definitely like to try out some different types of content. If you have any suggestions, I'm always glad to hear them. You can leave them in the comment section below. Also, if you have not subscribed yet, you can do that right now if you don't want to miss anything. I just passed the 700 subs, so if you could help me get that 1K, that would definitely support this channel a lot. And as I mentioned before, I will be doing another giveaway among subscribers. Also, you might have noticed that the image looks a bit different. That is because my camera is in the shop right now, so I'm filming with my Sony Xperia again. So my apologies for the probably quite poor quality of the image, but I thought if I have to wait until the camera's back, it's gonna take maybe weeks, I don't know. So I figured it would be best to just record something with my phone and have content rather than no content. Also, this video will consist of two parts. And by that I mean there will be two different sections within the same video, because first I will talk about the shoes in general, and then after that I will have a tutorial of how to bleach them, because that is also something that has been asked a lot. Alright, but so first, these shoes. The Nike Vapormax are a relative new shoe. They were released in 2017, which is just 1 year before this iteration was released as a collaboration between Nike and Acronym. So I think we can say that when this was released in 2018, it was really at the forefront of the Nike shoe technology at the time. This was, if I am correct, the first shoe with no midsole at all, which is to say there's just the upper, which is glued directly onto the air pockets. So there's no sole in which the air pockets are placed. It's just the air pockets themselves, which for one I think is super cool. To be honest, the first time I saw Vapormax, I didn't immediately dig them because it was just so strange looking to me. I actually kind of thought it looked like octopus limbs, if you know what I mean, which I thought was a bit freaky. So I did have to get used to the look at first, but that was also kind of the general Vapormax release. But then when I saw this was just a completely different story altogether. I mean, these might just be the boldest looking sneakers I've ever seen. Of course, there are other sneaker designs that look completely crazy, but they might also be really ugly then. And I think this might be the boldest design that I also really appreciate as aesthetically. So I know, of course, 3 years after its release, I am not the first person to review these shoes. And if you are from the community, you have probably seen Antoine's review already. So there's not really too much use for me to go too deeply into the pattern design and all that. I just mainly want to tell you what these shoes mean to me and why I like them so much. The first thing I would like to talk about is the Flyknit, these were the first shoes I ever had that were not, first sneakers I ever had that were not just regular leather sneakers, actually. No, this is not entirely true. I had the Prestos before these, which I also love and which I also still have to do a video about. But back to these. So the Flyknit is such a thing that really needs to be experienced, actually. It's As the name already says, it's a knit, and in this case it's elastic too, which just wraps around your foot, which kind of makes it like a sock. So it kind of feels like you're just wearing a sock, which is super comfy, of course, because it's very form-fitting. So, and then the fact that there's no midsole means that the bottom of the shoe can just completely bend to your will, or to your feet's will, which is really a very different experience of walking down the street, because then it's almost like, it's really kind of hard for me to explain actually. It's like, I'm going to show and not tell. That's how you walk down the street, like this. No, seriously. That is so great, because it feels so free. It kind of feels like you're not wearing shoes, but you are wearing socks, and you're walking on a street that is completely covered with air pockets, like a big air cushion. That's how it feels. There's no movement restriction at all. So that's really great. It's just like, it's the most comfortable way to walk, if you ask me, because every part of your foot gets shock protection. And so then the sole has a lot of really small points where it touches the floor, which gives you a lot of grip, which is great. It almost kind of looks like a football shoe, I guess. The downside of that, though, is that it can be quite loud. When you walk down the street, you hear this crunchy sound of all these small parts hitting the floor. That can sound kind of strange. So it's actually a very loud shoe in that way. I've gotten used to it a bit, but I remember that when I first got them and I was walking down the street, or when I was walking upstairs, I used to kind of really notice how loud these shoes are. Also, the Flyknit, because it is a knit, is very open and airy, so it's super breathable, which is great for summer. It's a really great summer shoe. It's summer right now, so I really love wearing these in the summer. The other side of that, of course, is that it is absolutely not water resistant or proof in any way. I mean, it has holes in it. So if you get caught in the rain, you get completely soaked. And also, something that is not so great about this is that the Flyknit is very not fast drying. I actually think it's cotton. I don't know for sure. I mean, there's elastane in this, obviously, but it feels kind of cotton-like. I remember I used to have the black ones too, and there was one day I was walking down the street and it like really poured down, and I walked in the rain for maybe 5 minutes, just in like pouring rain, and the shoes didn't dry for like 2 days. So if they do really get wet, you really need to actively dry them with a blow dryer or any other thing that some kind of heat source. Otherwise, they will not really dry by themselves in an acceptable amount of time. Because if you leave them wet too long, they are gonna smell. So the thing I was kind of afraid about is that at some point the elastic would get loose and that they would kind of be too loose, because you can't tighten them once they get too loose, because there's no tightening system. It hasn't really happened, but it has happened a little. I mean, they are definitely more loose than they were when I just got them. And when I run in them, I do feel that, so they might not be the ideal shoes to actually go running in, because you can't tighten them. At least for me, if I go running, which I don't go very often, but when I do like my shoes to be tightened. So, I mean, just sole-wise, they are really nice to run in, but if I were to decide to seriously go running, I would probably get some Vapormax with laces. So yeah, what more can I say about them? These are the light bone colorway. There's kind of a problem with these because of the fact that the air pockets are painted. You can probably see here the paint at some point is gonna come off. It's gonna break and come off. You can kind of see it on this one already happening. Where the paint is kind of going here also. So the paint will chip at some point. I think I've had these for a year, maybe longer. I don't know. You know, this whole COVID thing has really messed up my perception of time. I mean, I can't, like last year feels so long ago. Even though it has just been over a year, it just feels like it was 3 years or something. Anyway, so yeah, these shoes, man, I just really love them. I think they are so cool. I think that probably if they get destroyed at some point, I will probably try to get new ones. Oh, I totally forgot, of course, that there was a super cool commercial when these came out in 2018. It was a commercial where Errolson teamed up with John Mayer, which is also actually a very funny story. Okay, so when I saw the Acronym Vapormax video, I was just getting into techwear and acronyms, so I didn't know that much about it yet. And I saw that John Mayer was in it, which was to me very surprising because, well, at first I didn't know that he was such a big acronym fan and collector, which he is, I know now, and you can look up, he's probably right now one of the most avid acronym collectors on the planet. He did an interview with Errolson at some point where Errolson even said that he probably owns more acronym than Errolson himself, so that's pretty funny to me. But my personal relationship to it was very different because I actually have been a big fan of John Mayer way before I ever heard of Acronym, because I'm also a musician and I play guitar. I actually have been a fan of John's music and guitar playing since, well, the beginning, ever since No Such Thing came out. I even remember I went to a very small concert in 2003 in Cologne, Germany, where it was just John in a very small venue. I think maybe maybe 300 people or something, because he didn't even play here in Holland. Nobody really knew who he was here in Europe then, and it was just John on a stage with a guitar, and it was awesome. So I really remember that being a really great concert. Also, a funny fact is that in the Acronym video, in which I mimicked John's TikTok, where he jumped into the pool in his acronym clothing. If you haven't seen that, you can check it out right there. I was actually wearing a t-shirt which was from that tour that I bought during that concert. So that's like an Easter egg I bet no one got, but that doesn't matter. You know it now. Anyway, long story short, I was already a John Mayer fan, and then I got obsessed with Acronym, and then learned that John was also obsessed with Acronym. So that was a weird realization in itself. So then at some point I posted a fit pic on Instagram, which Errolson thought was cool enough to share, which then John saw, and now he follows me on Instagram, which is just so weird, but cool at the same time. I mean, these times, right? Internet, it's crazy. Anyway, that commercial was super dope, and one of the main reasons I just really got sucked into that acronym aesthetic and vibe, because everything about that is just too cool. This whole cyber cowboy shit, it just really got me, and got me inspired to get those ACG hats, which I wear all the time. So I have this colorway, the light bone, and I also have the bandits. I used to have the black ones too, which I actually did really like aesthetically, like looking at them, but for some reason I just did not wear them because I just found them difficult to style for some reason. I didn't really want to wear them with the other clothes I had, so I sold them. Sometimes I miss them, and there have been a couple of occasions that I hesitated to buy them again, but I haven't done it yet because I just really have enough shoes. I really have enough shoes. So this part is made of a translucent type of material that is seen on a lot of Nike shoes, especially Jordans, which is usually referred to as the icy part, which over time gets yellow. And in the next part of this video, I will be showing you how to at least try to reverse this process. Hello YouTube! I was about to bleach my Vapormaxes when I suddenly thought, hey, I've gotten a lot of questions about this because this is a very long process and I've been at it for quite a while now. So why not make a video about it while I'm doing it, right? To show you guys. So I have done this already twice, as in I've done 2 sessions of bleaching the shoes and keeping them in the sun. As you can see, well, I think I have some before photos that I can show. It has effect. It definitely works, but it's a very slow process and you have to go through several sessions to really get the icy blue back, because it got really yellow. They used to be super blue, icy, and nice. So I'm gonna try to get them back. So what I'm doing here is there are different products that do this, but this one I use is Tarago Sneakers Care Sole Restorer. This is available in Europe. I think in America there's a different brand. I forgot the name. But I mean, you can Google it, you can find it on YouTube. There are different brands with which you can bleach your sneakers. I believe it's basically the same stuff you use to bleach your hair, but together with different compounds. I don't know exactly what's in it, but it works. So what we do here is we apply this to the sole, the outsole. First, an advice is to, as you can see, I'm wearing an old bathrobe because this stuff can also get on your clothes and it will probably bleach them too. So don't get it on your expensive clothes that you love. I'm applying this now onto the outsole with a brush, especially the parts where it's most yellow. I think actually you should clean your sole first, and I haven't really because I'm lazy. But as you can see, my sole's not that dirty because I did this already like 2 weeks ago, I think. So you kind of try to apply it evenly in a way. Don't apply too much because you will have to keep the sneakers upside down like this, and you don't want to have it leaking too much onto the rest of your shoe because that will probably bleach the shoe, which you probably do not want. I actually shouldn't really be doing this with my right hand because I just got out of the hospital for surgery, removing 2 bolts from my hand that were still in there, that were left in there after I had surgery for breaking it. But I think this is okay. All right, I think this should be okay. What we do then is ouch, okay, so this hurts. Put the shoe into cling film and we wrap it into some cling film. Okay, that's okay. Sorry guys, I'm not very handy right now, so this is a bit of a struggle for me because I can't really use this hand to the full extent. All right, so that is nice and neatly wrapped. The reason to do this, I believe, is that because I'm going to leave this in the sun, and you don't want to have the stuff just evaporating very quickly, because then it won't work. So you use the cling film to keep it inside. All right, so this is a tip I got recently, to put tin foil into the shoebox to have the sun reflect even more light within the box. So this is the first time I've actually done this. I'm actually doing this, so we'll see if that works, if that makes it even better. So then we go to the next shoe, get some more cling film out. I haven't really done this a lot because, well, as you can see, it's a lot of work. Also, the sun doesn't shine very much in this country where I live, so it's kind of difficult to find days to do this on, because there's barely any sun. Also, a thing to be cautious about is the fact that if it's a very hot day and the sun is shining, there might be the risk of your shoe getting too hot. So if that is the case, you should probably put some kind of cooling bag or something inside the shoe, because if the shoe gets too hot, there is a risk of the outsole just coming loose from the shoe, which is probably also something you really do not want. Luckily, it's not very warm here. I mean, there's sun out now, but it's, I think, maybe like 15 degrees Celsius. So the risk of the shoe getting too hot today is, for me, not that big, I think. But if you live in a warm country, then you should really be careful with that. I mean, I'm definitely not an expert on this. I mean, I'm just doing what I've seen in other YouTube videos. So, but people kept asking me this, so I guess some of you want to see me do this, so that's all right. I can show you. And most YouTube videos on this are about Jordans, because Jordans have a lot of icy soles, and probably most people watching my channel want to see shoes like these instead of Jordans. So I'll show you these. All right, so you can see, try to distribute this evenly like that. I feel I'm getting it on my fingers already, so I'm gonna get this off for a second. All right, so this is the second shoe applied. Again, ouch. Putting it in the shoebox with the tin foil. I think I'm gonna put a little bit more tin foil in here. This looks like a science project, right? Hope this has effect. All right, I think they're ready to go outside now. All right, so this is how it looks now. I got it in the sun, in the box. It's a very sunny day, so that's great. I'm gonna check up every once in a while to feel if I don't think the shoes are getting too hot, because now with the tin foil it will probably get hotter or not. I don't know actually. We'll see. Okay, so I'm gonna let this sit here just in the sun for a few hours, and then towards the evening I will be checking up on it, and hopefully we'll see some results. So that was my video about the Nike Acronym Vapormax Moc 2s. Thanks for making it all the way to the end of the video. If you forgot to subscribe at the beginning of the video, you can still do it right now. Next up, I will be releasing my video on the Nike Lab ACG Alpine. The classic, exactly. I have had that on the shelves for weeks now, but I hadn't finished it yet. But now it will be. So you can check it out next week and you will be notified if you are subscribed and have your notifications on. So be sure to do that and I'll see you then.